Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Cause to drop or sink. Move something or somebody to a lower position. Set lower. Lower a rating. Look angry or sullen, wrinkle one's forehead, as if to signal disapproval. Make lower or quieter. The lower of two berths. Cause to drop or sink. The lack of rain had depressed the water level in the reservoir. Press down. Lower someone's spirits, make downhearted. These news depressed her. Lessen the activity or force of. The rising inflation depressed the economy. Lower prices or markets. The glut of oil depressed gas prices. Cut down on. Make a reduction in. Move something or somebody to a lower position. Impose something unpleasant. Cause the downfall of rulers. Cause to come to the ground. Cause to be enthusiastic. Put down in writing, of texts, musical compositions, etc. Move something or somebody to a lower position. Take the first step or steps in carrying out an action. Let's get down to work now. Lower someone's spirits, make downhearted. Alight from a horse. Pass through the esophagus as part of eating or drinking. Lower one's body, as by kneeling. Move something or somebody to a lower position. Fail to meet the hopes or expectations of. Move something or somebody to a lower position. Take down the vase from the shelf. Tear down so as to make flat with the ground. Reduce in worth or character, usually verbally. Make a written note of. Set lower. Look angry or sullen, wrinkle one's forehead, as if to signal disapproval. Make lower or quieter. A facial expression of dislike or displeasure. Look angry or sullen, wrinkle one's forehead, as if to signal disapproval. Look at with a fixed gaze. An angry stare. Look angry or sullen, wrinkle one's forehead, as if to signal disapproval. Refuse entrance or membership. Refuse to accept. Reject with contempt. Make lower or quieter. Turn down the volume of a radio. Take a downward direction. The lower of two berths. Insert words into texts, often falsifying it thereby. Cause to change. Make different, cause a transformation. The advent of the automobile may have altered the growth pattern of the city. Become different in some particular way, without permanently losing one's or its former characteristics or essence. Remove the ovaries of. Make an alteration to. This dress needs to be altered. Lay aside, abandon, or leave for another. The car changed lanes. Cause to change. Make different, cause a transformation. The discussion has changed my thinking about the issue. Exchange or replace with another, usually of the same kind or category. He changed his name. An event that occurs when something passes from one state or phase to another. The change was intended to increase sales. Become different in some particular way, without permanently losing one's or its former characteristics or essence. Her mood changes in accordance with the weather. Give to, and receive from, one another. Would you change places with me? Become deeper in tone. His voice began to change when he was 12 years old. Change from one vehicle or transportation line to another. She changed in Chicago on her way to the East Coast. A difference that is usually pleasant. It is a refreshing change to meet a woman mechanic. A different or fresh set of clothes. She brought a change in her overnight bag. A relational difference between states, especially between states before and after some event. He attributed the change to their marriage. A thing that is different. He inspected several changes before selecting one. Change clothes. Put on different clothes. Coins of small denomination regarded collectively. He had a pocketful of change. Money received in return for its equivalent in a larger denomination or a different currency. He got change for a 20 and used it to pay the taxi driver. Remove or replace the coverings of. Father had to learn how to change the baby. The action of changing something. The change of government had no impact on the economy. The balance of money received when the amount you tender is greater than the amount due. I paid with a 20 and pocketed the change. The result of alteration or modification. There were marked changes in the lining of the lungs. Undergo a change. Become different in essence, losing one's or its original nature. She changed completely as she grew older. Cause to change. Make different. Cause a transformation. Add a modifier to a constituent. Make less severe or harsh or extreme. Please modify this letter to make it more polite. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally, in a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. Take the place of or have precedence over. Terminate the employment of. Discharge from an office or position. Cause to move, usually with force or pressure. The refugees were displaced by the war. Lose in value. Remove the value from. Deprive of its value. Lower the value or quality of. The tear devalues the painting. A contorted facial expression. She made a grimace at the prospect. Contort the face to indicate a certain mental or emotional state. He grimaced when he saw the amount of homework he had to do. Contort the face to indicate a certain mental or emotional state. Contort the face to indicate a certain mental or emotional state. A process of becoming smaller or shorter. The act of decreasing or reducing something. Decrease in size, extent, or range. The amount of homework decreased towards the end of the semester. A change downward. There was a decrease in his temperature as the fever subsided. Make smaller. He decreased his staff. The amount by which something decreases. Make smaller. Decrease in size, extent, or range. Make smaller. Wear off or die down. A bed on a ship or train, usually in tiers. A job in an organization. Secure in or as if in a berth or dock. A bed on a ship or train, usually in tiers. Come into or dock at a wharf. A place where a craft can be made fast. Provide with a berth. Unacceptable behavior, especially ludicrously false statements. A bed on a ship or train, usually in tiers. Avoid paying. A long trough for feeding cattle. Flee. Take to one's heels, cut and run. Beds built one above the other. A message that seems to convey no meaning. A rough bed, as at a campsite. Provide with a bunk. We bunked the children upstairs. An elevated geological formation. Be at an angle. Have a tendency or disposition to do or be something, be inclined. He inclined to corpulence. Make receptive or willing towards an action or attitude or belief. Their language inclines us to believe them. An inclined surface connecting two levels. Bend or turn one's ear towards a speaker in order to listen well. He inclined his ear to the wise old man. Feel favorably disposed or willing. She inclines to the view that people should be allowed to express their religious beliefs. Lower or bend, the head or upper body, as in a nod or bow. She inclined her head to the student. Appear to move downward. The sun dipped below the horizon. Switch. A car's headlights, from a higher to a lower beam. Dip into a liquid while eating. A sudden sharp decrease in some quantity. A dip in prices. Immerse briefly into a liquid so as to wet, coat, or saturate. Dip the garment into the cleaning solution. A thief who steals from the pockets or purses of others in public places. Dip into a liquid. He dipped into the pool. Physics, the angle that a magnetic needle makes with the plane of the horizon. A brief swim in water. A brief immersion. A candle that is made by repeated dipping in a pool of wax or tallow. A depression in an otherwise level surface. There was a dip in the road. A gymnastic exercise on the parallel bars in which the body is lowered and raised by bending and straightening the arms. Go down momentarily. Prices dipped. Immerse in a disinfectant solution. Dip the sheep. Lower briefly. She dipped her knee. Place candle wicks into hot, liquid wax. Plunge one's hand or a receptacle into a container. He dipped into his pocket. Scoop up by plunging one's hand or a ladle below the surface. Dip water out of a container. Slope downwards. Our property dips towards the river. Stain an object by immersing it in a liquid. Take a small amount from. I had to dip into my savings to buy him this present. Tasty mixture or liquid into which bite-sized foods are dipped. A rocky region in the southern Transvaal in northeastern South Africa contains rich gold deposits and coal and manganese. A submerged ridge of rock or coral near the surface of the water. Lower and bring partially inboard. Reef the sailboat's mast. One of several strips across a sail that can be taken in or rolled up to lessen the area of the sail that is exposed to the wind. Reduce a sail by taking in a reef. Roll up a portion of a sail in order to reduce its area. Of a clause, unable to stand alone syntactically as a complete sentence. A subordinate, or dependent, clause functions as a noun or adjective or adverb within a sentence. A word that is more specific than a given word. Make subordinate, dependent, or subservient. Our wishes have to be subordinated to that of our ruler. An assistant subject to the authority or control of another. Lower in rank or importance. Rank or order is less important or consider of less value. Art is sometimes subordinated to science in these schools. Subject or submissive to authority or the control of another. A subordinate kingdom. Lower the rated electrical capability of electrical apparatus.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.